dear prisoners. You know, this crisis has brought standard truths in my life to even greater clarity. Something that I really believe, that I believe even more strongly now, is when everything's falling apart around you, be fabulous. When all else fails, be fabulous. So that is my goal as I lie here listening to birdsong and the occasional sounds of obnoxious traffic and passers-by. Sometimes it's all we can do. All we can do is sit around, revel in our own elegance, and project that to the world, even if there is no one watching us. Honestly, if you're surviving right now, let's call that an achievement. The people who are like, I'm going to use this time to learn a new language or remodel my whole apartment, that's great. Superhumans are always fun friends. I've never once had to console a friend who was weeping over social media envy and worthlessness. But I don't think anyone has to put them through that. I think if you're just surviving this time with your mental health intact, I can say from experience that is an achievement. So you should just feel good about yourself. On 1 day out of 7, be fabulous, and the other 6, just do your thing, just mope around. You're getting through it, so I'm proud of you. I'm really proud. You should be proud too. And now, since I'm lying around and there's only so much I would like to do, I would like to bring you to our correspondent, Cassandra, for some wise words. Cassandra?
Well, here I am in the Pacific West Eastern Western Wildlife Sanctuary Park, and I have been sent here by the government. They were needing someone to investigate spores and microbial micronisms of the bacterial parasitish quality, because those are actually fueling this whole issue, and I have a special background that allows me to research such things. So my eyesight allows me to see the floating creatures that perpetuate this virus, and I never thought that would be a useful skill. It used to just give me nightmares, but now I'm helping save the world. So it was a great excuse to leave the house. I don't know what is going to happen with the results of this study, but I'm just going to stay out here until they tell me what else to do. And I'm hoping Trudeau remembers to call me back and finalize our arrangements. Otherwise it could get real boring real fast. So stay tuned for the results of my study. I expect that lives will be saved, and that's just an honor to be part of.
Thank you, Cassandra. It was a pleasure speaking with you, even though I asked no questions whatsoever, and I feel utterly edified by all that you had to share. Thank you for your sacrifice. And now it's time for a delightful segment where we let the audience ask a question. So I'm going to turn it over to Colin from Courtney. Go ahead, Colin.
Hello, Diana. What is the hardest part about being a rule follower?
Wow, I am so glad you asked that. Honestly, the hardest thing about being a rule follower is when other people don't follow the rules. It is a really rough time to go out when you're hardly allowing yourself any time outside, and you go out for your walk and you see people clustering together and friends playing frisbee and all this garbage that honestly I thought Vancouver had moved past. So, Colin and Courtney, I want you to know that this really fed the rage of sanctimonious loneliness. As the character in That Thing You Do said, alone with my principles. So when I feel like I'm the only one following the rules, honestly it takes me right back to childhood and I just want to bellow for Mom. Mom! They're playing frisbee! Mom! They're hanging out with people outside their household! Mom! They're doing other stuff that I can't see because I don't go outside much, but I know they're doing it. Punish them! So unfortunately, my mom has no more power in this situation than I do, but you know, it just feels good to tattletale. If you can't think of anything else to do, call the non-emergency number of the police and just let them know what's happening and say, I have a way to fix the economy. Fine the scoundrels. Just fine all of the scoundrels. And then it'll boost us up again, give the government all the cash that it needs. To the 3 people who have told me that watching this makes their day and gives them joy in a joyless time, I want to apologize for the length of my absence. I just didn't have it in me, and I'm okay saying that because honesty is the best policy. But what I did do is rediscover a method for dealing with my rage. I decided to reintroduce myself to Billy Blanks. And if you know who that is without Googling it, please comment below and you will get a special prize. Billy Blanks helped me through the rage of my 4th year university exam time breakup. And honestly, anyone who can get me through anger management at that sort of time can get me through anything. So I turned to Billy Blanks and had some wonderful times doing Taebo. Just punching it out, just punch it out. Are you finding that you're gaining a lot of weight from sitting around on your Sitzfleisch? If so, take my advice. There's a practice that I've been following for years, and I can't recommend it enough. Don't weigh yourself. Just never weigh yourself. I haven't weighed myself in 10 years. It's a glorious life. Ignorance is bliss, and that is an understatement. If I really want to know how I'm doing, I can look in the mirror, I can see how my clothes fit. If you're wondering how my clothes are fitting these days, just don't ask. We don't need to go there. But the most important thing is you are more than a number, so I do not recommend weighing yourself. It's just stress you don't need at this time. We've got enough numbers on the news. No more numbers. Numbers. Down with numbers. Anti-numbers. Except the numbers in the Bible. That's a book that is as worth reading as the rest of them. And speaking of, today's scripture reading is from Isaiah chapter 26, and the joy of reading the Bible is that you uncover these hidden gems and you think to yourself, the people who've been scraping the bottom of the barrel for wisdom and making poorly advised decisions, honestly, just read more of the Bible. Listen to this. Think about if more leaders around the world had read the Bible sooner. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 20 says, "Go, my people, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while, until the wrath has passed by." Now, you know what? Whoever says this is outdated and old, lots of old things are relevant. My grandparents, for example. Old habits, like tying your shoes, so much goodness is old. So anyway, even though this is not a remotely happy image, entering your rooms and hiding yourselves, it's what we're doing. So, hashtag relevant. I have one more little nugget that I would like to share with you. As I mentioned in some earlier episode, I am a germaphobe, and this has been handy in such times. I so feel like Mr. Rogers right now. But no one wants to make a documentary about me. So sad. I have a habit to share with you that has been very normal for me for a long time. In fact, I had no idea this was not normal for everybody until it was pointed out to me. So there is something that feels really wrong about touching your feet in the middle of the day. It just feels kind of dirty, and then you want to wash your hands. And who wants to wash their hands all the time? So I have something that I have done for many years, which I consider to be very normal, and that is just lotioning your feet in a contactless fashion. You know, it's just wonderful to give yourself a little foot massage with your feet. Your toes can do so many things. Just ask our primate neighbors and get all lotioned up without having to touch them at all. And as you do it, ab exercises. Okay, one is enough. Yes, I got laughed at when I did this in front of friends and discovered it is not actually common practice. But now, who's laughing? The germaphobes. We know how to survive. And with that, I will go back to being fabulous. I shall bid you good night. Stay fabulous, everyone.